I had seen many doctors, they are having extremely good practice. They do extremely well during their active period, but somehow they have never planned for the future. And at the end, many of them I had seen struggling in the later part of their life. So that's very unfortunate to see, and this is a reason I do take a lot of classes for the doctor as a financial freedom. I hope that the majority of the crowds is doctor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, for all the so this entire talk has been designed keeping in mind majority for the doctor points of view, but even the other people can definitely get the help out of this. Now, first and most important thing, all of us will agree that we should have a passive income. Now, what I mean is a passive income. Apart from our professional income, there should be another source of income for all of us, and that is what I mean is a passive income. So, if any person think about this passive income at the beginning of the practice, say around 30 to 35 years of age, then by 50 to 55 years of age, his passive income will be more than active income. And exactly that's what we want. And that is a time where he can think about the retirement, or he can think about the different way of thinking about the life. That is, that earning is not the main motto. Then whatever the work is doing for more for the enjoyment, and the money is the byproduct. So yes, that is the strength of the passive income. It gives a lot of security. It gives a lot of freedom, and that's what I feel that all of us wants to achieve. Now, to reach for the passive income, you must have one good financial advisor. Friends, this topic, as I have debated many times, I can see that I'm the part of the various financial groups, especially for the doctors. And I see that some section of the people, they always believe that we should not have the financial advisor. We should be doing by ourselves. We should do the things on our way. Here I will differ little bit. Yes, you should have the knowledge. You should have the knowledge about the finances. You should have the knowledge about the equity. You should have the knowledge about the various forms of investments available. But we doctor, now I am a nephrologist. Tomorrow some surgical problems happens to me, though I am a doctor. I know quite a few things about that, but I will not treat myself. I will go to the expert. I will go to the surgeon, and I will take his advice. Similarly, friends, in the financial world, there are lots of subspecialties there. And here, one single person, again, cannot be a master of everything. But at the same time, your good financial advisor will able to guide you, will able to put you to the right person, and that will help you a lot. Only on this particular point, I can go on talking for a couple of hours together, but here definitely I will talk into the little more detail, because I think it's very, very important point. And here I will like to give you few of my examples of my successful help by the financial advisor, and at the same time, few of examples where I have not taken the proper advice, or I have missed the bus So you will able to look at yourself only. So first, I will give the one example. So here both the things I will combine: need of the financial advisor and compounding effect. So for wealth creation. Now, first example I will give that successful. And this is why I'm telling you, I will give first example that recently we have received IPO, that is Tata Technology, right? I'm sure everybody must be aware of that Tata Technology IPO. Now that IPO has created a huge hype, and it had a fantastic listing also. Now I got the news about the Tata Technology about 6 to 7 years back because of my financial advisor. Now, friends, this was that time unlisted entity. I will repeat, it was unlisted entity. But I was knowing that you can buy the unlisted entity. So what he told, I will give you the presentation, what my friend or my financial advisor told me. Dr. Dedhia, this is a very good company managed by Tata as a promoter. So the promoter there is no issue. It's a debt-free company. It's doing global business. So business is not only limited to India, but all over the world. It's giving regularly dividend. And Tata company. So what do you need? So I asked the next questions: how to acquire the shares? So he got me in touch of a couple of people where we started buying the shares. So I started buying 100 shares. And whenever I do, I circulate among my very close friends also. So few of my close friends also were being told about this particular company. And once I tell them, usually they buy. So they also got 100 shares, about 7, 8 people. But since I realized this importance, I went on buying. So I had collected about almost by collecting 100 shares up to 3,000 shares. Then when this public issue and IPO started materialize, they have splitted the share and given the bonus. So one share become 10 shares. So today I have more than 30,000 shares of Tata Technology. And my multiplication already become 10x. Whatever the money I have invested, it become a 10x within last 6 to 7 years. So this is a idea of selecting the proper company, having a good financial advisor, and then keeping a patience and just sitting, because I was knowing that company is good. Ultimately, I will get the reward. Yes, I was knowing that what are the problems with the unlisted company or unlisted shares. In all the unlisted companies or unlisted shares, the liquidity is poor. But then I was very sure that one day it is going to get listed. And yes, we got the reward. So this is the presentation of I did first because I was pretty sure that majority of us will be knowing that what is a Tata Technology. Now I will tell you my couple of things which I did not went the right way. Number one, this is about almost 35 years back when I started my practice. About 6 months back, I had started the practice. After the starting the practice, I went to the one of the place, that is a Palitana. I'm a Jain person. So my mother used to go to the Palitana every year for the religious point of view. And usually I make a point that she used to stay there for 4 months and does various ritual activity. So I used to meet her during all those 4 months. Maybe 1 or 2 days I go there and meet her. Palitana is near Bhavnagar. Bhavnagar is one of the tier 2 or the tier 3 cities in Gujarat state. And Pidilite, you must have heard about the company Pidilite, that which manufacture the Fevicol. Sorry?
The slide is your screen share. There is PowerPoint is not sharing in the screen. Okay.
No. So this is, I'm just giving an example. So that owner of the Pidilite and Pidilite owner's mother was not well and had some kidney problem. I was that time at Nanavati Hospital, which was one of the major corporate hospital in the city of Mumbai. And they came to know that I am in Palitana, which was near Bhavnagar. They came and picked me up. They requested me to come and see the mother. Those days, this I'm talking about 35 years back, there were hardly any nephrologists in entire Gujarat state. So I went there, saw the mother, give them medicine. She became better. They asked me to take visit charge, which I refused. They must have asked at least n number of time, but I politely says no. I came for my meeting my mother, and my purpose was not the visit, so I will not take any money. And I forgot those entire incidents. We came back to the Mumbai within a week. Mr. Badwanbhai Mehta, who was a chairman of the Pidilite, transferred 200 shares of Pidilite on my name. This is, I'm talking about the 35 years back. Those days, as I told you that what is the share, I was not knowing the detail because I didn't had any money with me. And if you don't have the money, the buying the share or equity is out of question. I have just started my practice. So we're busy with all the loans and paying the EMI and so on. So those 200 shares were with me maybe about after 6 to 8 months or a year. I don't recollect exactly. Somebody told me that Pidilite share has been getting good rates and I sold it off. Today, if you ask me what is the value of those 200 Pidilite shares, you will be surprised. Can anybody predict what will be the value of those 200 Pidilite shares today after 35 years back? It is 3.2 crore rupees. If I would have not sold those Pidilite shares, probably the 3.2 crore and so much of dividend I must have received. So again, friends, the power of compounding, that keeping an equity in the long, that probably I was not knowing and I missed that opportunity. Now, I was mentioning about the financial advisor. There are so many things about the financial advisor I can talk. There are n number of examples that financial advisor had helped me, and it can be helpful to you also. So good financial advisor is very, very important. And here, one more example I will like to give. This is about 25 years back, when after making that mistakes of Pidilite, I started getting some knowledge about the share. One of my friend who was my financial advisor told me to buy Mahindra Gasco. Today is a Mahindra Life Space. Now that Mahindra Gasco shares, I have bought in a good quantity, almost 10,000 shares. Around my purchasing price was around 20-21 rupees. Share was not moving at all. 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year passed. It was roaming around 20-24, 20-24. As any newcomer in the stock market, I also become impatient. I uh, spoke to my financial advisor. Dear, what should I do? He says, "Nee, wait. And then, yes, I was busy in practice, forgot about the things. Suddenly, after a couple of years, I saw the rate 40. So I was very happy. I ultimately started working, started doing well. And 40, and I was about to sell the share. But uh, I just, to my luck, that thought of my financial advisor, I said, let me ask him. He was always guiding me. So let us see what he's saying. I told him, dear, your stock is now really moving and we are getting 40 rupees. Our purchase price is around 20, is getting double. We should sell. He says, sir, please don't sell. If you have money, buy more, but definitely don't sell. I said, why? I said, yes, we were much before in this particular company compared to the rest of the people. And now the rest of the people have realized its strength and they have started buying. And that's why the stock is increasing. Company is very good. Promoters are good. Company is doing good business. Now here, I always used to analyze the things. So it ignited my mind. What he is saying, what my financial advisor is saying is a point. Why the stock price is increasing? Stock price is increasing because somebody is buying. And why the somebody is buying? Because now they got the interest in the company. And this particular point started me to think about, and I agreed to his idea, not selling the shares. So within a few months, 40 becomes 60, 60 becomes 80, 80 becomes 100, and so on. It went on increasing. And you will be surprised, within a year or so, that share price reached to up to 11 to 1200 rupees. 1200 rupees. My average selling price of that entire 10,000 share was around 1000 rupees. So my journey from 40 to 1000, I'm again repeating, my journey from 40 to 1000 was not my brain, but my financial advisor's brain. And what he got? He got nothing. So, grand friend, it is very important, number one, that for the compounding effect, you should have the patience. That is very important. And second, you need to have a good financial advisor who can help you to reach such things. So this is something about the financial advisor and the compounding effect. I will tell you something more as in when we work on this. Majority of us, mainly the doctors, they believe working hard. Yes, we have to work hard. There is no way that you can sit at home and things will become all right. But always keep in mind, working hard is not the alternative working smart. So we must think about how to work smartly, how to work jointly, how to have a group practice, and so on to create something much better environment for ourselves, much better thing for our patient, and it will be a win-win situation for everybody. So, friends, I will always say that give some time for the educating yourself, have a knowledge about the finance, and you take care of your investment and your investment will take care of you. Now, let me come to the more basic, that majority of us are doctors. So what is the problems regarding the medical profession? One of the major problem what I had seen in the medical profession is that we start at the age of 30 to 35, and majority of the rest of the professional, they can start at the age of the 25. So 25 and 35, that one decade is a huge long difference, and that is the major problem for all the medical professional people. During that particular time, when you are young, 25-year-old, you are bold, you can take the very bold decisions. But once you achieve 35 and you are starting just earning or just practice, then you will not become aggressive. You will say become a mild, and that is the one of the major decision problem with our medical profession. Second thing, by age of 55, majority will have some problems, and that is the where you reach to the peak of life. But then later on, you will slow down, and especially for the surgeons, maybe after 65, 70, 75, there may be tremors or rest of the other problems may come, and ultimately they cannot do the things what they were doing during the younger days. So these are the problems with our medical profession. So we should know about that, and we should gear up accordingly so we can have a better financial security as our age advances. Now, what are the common financial mistakes doctors are making, and which will come in their way to create wealth for themselves? Majority of the doctors have a over concentration in real estate. I'm sure you must be agree that at your end also, and what I see in the Western India, few times even in North India and other parts where I travel, majority of them are over concentration in real estate. Yes, many people have made a good money also in the real estate. So I don't deny that real estate is not a good way to invest. But I think 100% money putting in the real estate, you should be careful. There are lots of problems about the real estate. I'm not going into the detail because that is not our subject in today's talk. But in short, I can summarize that if you are putting money in the real estate and you are having a couple of flats, and then tomorrow you want to sell some part, you have to sell the entire flat. You cannot sell one bathroom, you cannot sell one bedroom, and so on. So selling is not again going to be easy. So, but in the mutual fund or in the equity or in the other asset, you can easily sell small quantity or whatever the quantity you require, and rest of the things you keep it without selling or without touching. So one is that real estate, and a majority of the real estate requires the black money. No doubt that component is going down and down. But again, yes, to deal that is not easy nowadays. Third thing is that if you think about the putting money into the kacha jameen, or what you say is the land, something like that, again to maintain the land and keeping the records properly, it's not very easy. There is always a problem about the encroachment, and facing problems from the antisocial elements are usually high, and various areas in the country have a different kind of problems, and you might have to end up which way you will not like to do it. So those are the problems one should think about that. real estate investment. Also, majority of us are not having a proper insurance. And here I will just put one line again today. This is not a today's topic, but please don't mix the insurance and investment together. Insurance should be insurance or only for the risk point of view, and investment is an investment. So both cannot be combined. Don't do the investment without the planning, and people don't give importance to the tax planning, majority of the doctors. And I had seen that they hardly meet the charter accountant. They usually the March ending comes, they will send the passbook, checkbook, and only on the phone they will say, just look at that if I have to pay a less tax. I think never ever use that word, I have to pay a less tax, but put down that I will like to discuss my balance sheet. I will like to discuss the how you have calculated the my tax planning, and you must meet your charter accountant. Now here, as I told you that we should have a good financial advisor, my second learning from my own experience in last 35 years of practice, you should have a good charter accountant. In fact, good charter accountant can become your indirect partner. He can guide you. He can help you to plan. He can help you to create a more capital. He can help you that how your tax planning should be done, and so on. So good charter accountant is extremely important, and he can always be a friend also. And if you have anything to discuss or you don't have, make a point that once in a 3 months you should go to your charter accountant and discuss over cup of coffee few things, and that will definitely help you a lot. Yes, I think many doctors are very comfortable with the cash income. We must get rid of those things in the mind. This I was telling for last 10 to 15 years, and after demonetization, there is no question of keeping a cash. So people should avoid the cash income. People should be ready. I don't say that you pay um, tax without thinking. You pay the tax, but do good tax planning also. So by doing good tax planning, you will save a significant of money. But then whatever required to pay, then please pay and have a peaceful sleep. Now let comes to the power of compounding. Is this slide is visible to everybody?
Not visible, sir. Not at all visible.
Yeah. Now these slides, you spend a couple of minutes, just look at these slides. And on these slides, I will have a couple of my own theories, which I am going to talk about that. And that will be probably interest to everybody. And I have practiced this way and it has helped me a lot. Here, let me confess first that power of, sorry?
Slide is not visible.
Slide is not visible?
Yes, sir.
At all visible, sir.
Now visible?
No, sir.
No, sir, it's still not visible.
One minute.
सर यू विल हैव टू शेयर स्क्रीन. नीचे जो टैब्स है ना उसमें शेयर स्क्रीन है.
I did that actually. I thought you are seeing the slides.
No, sir.
Now I am getting the screen broadcast and start broadcast. So what is that? Everything on your screen, including notification, will be recorded. But So I have done that. Are you able to see now?
No, sir, we are not able to see the
Okay.
slide.
So should I press the screen broadcast or screen start broadcast?
Start broadcast, please.
Start broadcast.
Now, are you getting?
Please wait.
Now it's showing screen broadcast and stop broadcast. So should I put screen broadcast?
Our slide is not coming. I have received the mail. Can I share the screen?
Pardon?
I have received the mail, sir.
So you can do that.
Yeah. Now I can stop broadcast.
Okay. So next slide.
Now it's
Slideshow, sir.
Next slide. Next. 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 Yeah, this was the power of compounding. Yes. Now everybody is able to see the slide?
Yes, sir, we are able to see.
Yeah.
Cyril,
Now
sir,
this-
can you slideshow, sir?
Pardon?
Please excuse, doctor, that system is not showing that slideshow. So I have already shared in the WhatsApp group. Okay, please.
Okay, sure. Okay.
So this power of compounding, as I was talking about at the beginning of my practice, I was not knowing what is the power of compounding and what the how to money can bring more money and so on. We learned by our own experience and things. But these slides will tell you that what is the power of compounding. And on basis of this slide, I have devised. Sorry, somebody is talking about. So on basis of this slide, and at basis of this knowledge, I have devised my couple of theories and which become fairly popular. This theory first time about I did was around 10-12 years back. That was a third child theory. Now I'd say it's a first child or second child theory, because in my generation, majority of people who are 50 plus or 55 plus will have two kids. But in today's generation, either they have a one kid or they have a no kid, something like that. So for them, I have a different kind of thought process. And I tell them either first child theory or second child theory. Now, if you look at these slides, this slide is a very simple. There, you must be knowing that there are lots of mutual funds, because I'm sure the people are putting a money in the mutual fund, which has given a return about 12 to 18 or 20%. Now, if you do the SIP of 5,000 rupees, and if you continue to do SIP for many years, maybe 10, 15, 20 years, or even 30 years, how much money it will become? Just simple 5,000 rupees every monthly, 15% of the return at the end of 30 years, it will become 3.5 crore rupees. 3.5 crore rupees. So yes, this is a so simple thing, and I can see that many of us can do it, but Very few people will have that patience to keep it that long. And once you understand this compounding effect, then you can have a various permutation and combination in your life. As I told you that third child theory, I will come to that particular point very soon. But yes, we can think about all such things and create a wealth for ourselves and the family. So this slide we may visit again, but you keep it in mind that this slide, many of you can just take the screenshot of this slide and keep it in your wallet to know, learn about the compounding effect. Next, please. So, friends, usually I had seen that many people thinks that they want to put the money into the stock market, they want to put the money into the equity, and they will always try and talk to their particular friends or person who gives them a tips or something, what to buy, which share is good, and so on. I think another thing which I have learned the principle in the life over the last 35 years, you must understand that nothing is free. And second thing, always relying on the tips. If you have a knowledge about the equity, if you have a knowledge about the market, if you can analyze the equity and shares by your own way, extremely good. You can go ahead and start doing the investment your own way. But if you don't have, then believe me, even simple mutual fund is also good enough to create the wealth. There are so many mutual funds which has given extremely good return over a period of time, and 15 to 18% return is not that impossible. I will give you examples of in spite of I know the equity well, and in my family, my daughter is an equity analyzer, my son is running the wealth management company, but still I put money in the mutual fund because yes, that always helps. And ultimately, what is the mutual fund? Mutual fund is managed by the fund manager, and usually they are doing good job. So what you need for the creation of the wealth? Patience, patience, and more patience. So what you have to do? Nothing, nothing, and nothing. Friend, this is the only important thing if you learn in today's talk. So making a wealth creation is so simple, but people, as a human animal, we don't like the simple thing. We try to make it more complicated, and ultimately we suffer. So what you need to create the wealth is a T. What I mean by T is a time factor. So give a time factor, give a time for the compounding effect. And once you give a time for the compounding effect, you will definitely see the results. And that's what we need. Now, I will talk here about the third child theory. So, now after giving this example about the patience, don't do anything. Can anybody will tell? Now, let me put forward first my idea, how the third child theory came. In our generation, as I told you that we had a majority of us had a two child. So I always say you have a third virtual child. What I mean is virtual child. How much money you are going to spend for the one child? Your wife is pregnant, your delivery expenses, then expenses about the holiday, expenses about the schooling, expenses about the food, expenses about the higher education, expense about the marriage, or child, whether he or she becomes almost 30 years of age, he or she is not going to earn anything for themselves or for the family. So you should have a third child who's a virtual, and how much amount of money you think will be needed for average, I am talking about, for a per month for all those things. So you have to calculate the delivery, you have to calculate the holiday, you have to calculate the clothes, you have to calculate the food, you have to calculate the holiday, you have to calculate the school, you have to calculate the higher education, you have to calculate if you are sending your child abroad and so on. Hare Krishna, can you tell me? Or anybody wants to say that how much money per month will be required?
10 to 15,000.
Are you sure 10 to 15,000 will be enough for the higher education and marriage and delivery and holiday and cloth and everything will be included? Anybody wants to respond? Somebody put 25,000. Yes, so this is a common question I ask majority of the people whenever I talk about the third child theory, that approximately people will say 15,000 to 50,000. So we will calculate the average around 25,000. So if you calculate the 25,000 average money required, do that 25,000 SIP for a third child, as a third child. Do for 30 years. Now you go back to that previous slide, which was showing the power of compounding. Look at the 15%. At the 30 years, how much money it will become? Friends, it will become a 17.5 crore rupees. 17.5 crore rupees. Now, beauty is that your third child value is 17.5 crore rupees. So this was for 5,000. So I calculated multiplied by 5. So it becomes 17.5 crore rupees. So 17.5 crore rupees, a value of third child. When your another two actual child will come to know, Arey, my parent has a third child and that value is 17.5 crore rupees. They will never leave you. They will never dare to leave you. So that is, friends, the beauty of compounding effect, that you will able to generate the wealth for yourself, security for yourself, and even it will be helpful to your family also. And similar things, even I have then put it for my medical insurance also. So, see, what is the insurance company? Insurance company collect the premium from you and me and rest of the people. On that, we add the GST. So we pay for the GST. That entire money doesn't go to the insurance company. Person who has taken your insurance will be getting some commission. So you add that commission. Then this entire thing becomes almost whatever the money reaches to the insurance company become 25% more. So that GST and commission and those are add. Then this insurance company is going to have those all 5-star buildings. They will pay the salary to their staffs. Then they will pay the money dividend to their shareholder. And then, yes, they will pay the money to the insured people. So ultimately, what I mean to say that insurance company is running after your money is collected. So I don't say that you should have insurance, but you should have the proper investment. Then probably your mediclaim or the money what you required for the insurance can be controlled. Why I'm telling you this? Because as you grow, your medical insurance charges will go on increasing, may become 50,000, 70,000 or 1 lakh rupees per year. So you have to always become a calculative that what kind of insurance money you are paying, how much insurance you needed. I will tell you what I have done here, that I have kept my medical insurance only 10 lakh rupees. But at the same time, I have started a separate insurance SIP, who in future can cover up for my medical problems if at all occurs. Luckily, last 25 years, I'm paying the mediclaim. I have never had the opportunity to claim that or require that insurance to be claimed. And at the same time, last 12 years, once I devised the third child theory, similarly, I started for my insurance. So I started a small mediclaim policy for my insurance. So this is about last 12 years. So I started it pretty late, maybe at the age of 52. Until now, again, that policy as that SIP is untouched. And you will believe that I have money about more than 60 lakhs in that particular SIP, that particular mutual fund, and which has been just kept for my medical problems. Hopefully, next 5 years, if I don't require to have any claims, that money will become more than 1 crore and even much more. So if younger people start at the age of very early age, then probably they will be much better off and have a much better money with them for the future problems. So I think this is the important that friends that you should know again this everything is second child theory or third child theory or whatever the insurance I told you is all because of the power of compounding. So next slide, please. This is a simple thing. This is a question for everybody actually. And since I am asking the questions, probably you will realize. But this is a very simple and important question. If I ask you to choose, you choose 1 million as a straightforward, or take a 1 penny, which will double every day till 30 days. What you will select?
Penny every 30 days.
Yeah, I know since I'm asking the questions, as I told you, that people will understand this. So once you start doubling the penny every day, by 27 days of the month, it will become 1 million. And then 28th day, 29th day, and 30th day, you will have a multiplication more and more. So ultimately, you will get much more. And that is what the power of compounding I wanted to just tell you. Next slide. So I think choose that properly, wisely. But again, you should have the patience, and do nothing. What I mean by nothing, you should have the knowledge about the finance. You should have the knowledge about your investment. You should have the knowledge what is happening, but then sit quietly without doing anything. These are the basic things. I am sure that you must be knowing: never borrow and invest. Yes, start investment at early age. Now, again, our basic things what required in a power of compounding is a time factor, and you give a more time factor. How can you give a more time factor if you start at the early age? As we all know that Warren Buffett started investing at the age of 11. I will repeat, Warren Buffett started at the age of 11, and his actual money multiplication started once he became around 70. Sorry, I think somebody has some phone on started. Yeah, so his actual money or actual wealth creation happened after the age of 70. So many years he gave money to grow, and that's when the money started really going. Yes, and the right things should be done at the right time. That's the another basic message I wanted to give you. And next slide. So this is again slide which I told you that if you don't have the knowledge about the equity, then yeah, you can put 90% in mutual fund, 10% you can still think about doing equity for your getting a kick out of that, or getting that you are also doing something and you are also managing your money and so on. Otherwise, if you are dependent on somebody, if you are dependent on the tips, then usually you will always ultimately at the end of the day or end of the story, you will say okay, that stock market is a satta market, and you will run away from that and you will blame that stock market is not good to make money. So if you don't know the equity and you are dependent on somebody, please then go for the mutual fund, and then may you select the few major basic simple stock and maybe doing SIP or put the money into that. Rate of returns are fairly good. Advantage of mutual fund is that it's very highly liquid. You can plan it really well. It can help you in a later part of your life. Suppose you have been putting in mutual fund or SIP for 20, 25, 30 years, then you can have a scheme that end of maybe 60 or age or 65 age, you want to withdraw 1 lakh rupees every month for your expenses. You can do that and still your money will grow. Believe me, still your money will grow because your quantum becomes so high. As I told you, that third child theory. So if your money becomes 17.5 crore rupees if you have started at the age of 30, so 30 years, by when you are 60 years of age, your money becomes that almost like a 17 or 20 crore rupees. And then you take out every month 1 lakh rupees and you stop your SIP also. Still your money will grow, it will not reduce because your basic quantum becomes very high. Your basic power is very high, and that's why you will never have a problem about the finance. So it is very effective. You can plan it well, you can manage it well, and your returns will be very, very good. And in overall mutual fund, the cost is very, very low. So it's you don't spend much of money. So many people have created a huge wealth by mutual fund. But yes, as I tell you that mutual fund doesn't give you big name or big smile, or you don't get the kick out of that. Next slide. This actually, sorry, this slide is about, I didn't get the time, so I should have modified this slide little bit. But yes, this is actual slide, but about 6 months back I had prepared. So this has been mildly must have been changed. But again, this will show that there are so many mutual funds which has given a fantastic return. One is a new Nippon. Originally, it was known as the Reliance Growth Fund. Now it is known as a Nippon India Growth Fund. It has almost multiplied by 200 times. So it is a huge return. So somebody has put the money in beginning, and here I have put my money in the Reliance Growth Fund for my take care of insurance, where I am getting almost 18.5 to 20% return, depend on the market condition. And today my just simple, very small SIP of 10,000 for last 12 years become more than 60 lakh rupees. So this is, I wanted to give you my personal example, how that mutual fund, in spite of equity person, I know the equity, I can invest in equity directly, but still I prefer some mutual funds where it can be helpful to us. So these are the various few mutual funds which has grown like multi-baggers, 200 times, 200 times, and so on. Next slide, please. This is one famous slogan by George Soros, that if investing is entertaining, if you are having a fun, you are probably not making any money. Good investment is boring. And as I told you, yes, good investment is boring because You don't have to do anything. And as a human, as I told you, as a human animal, usually we think that we are the smartest people in the world. But then I think you should use your smartness by just doing nothing, relaxing, and spending time with the nature, spending time with the whatever rest of the thing you like. And you believe me, you can do it. You can have it. Next slide. And this was a famous actually statement by the Amazon boss. He asked, and this is a fact actually, this is not just to put forward, asked the Warren Buffett if, now after listening this today's talk also, you must have thought, so creation of the wealth is not very difficult, it's actually very easy. So if it is so easy, why does not everyone copy of what Warren Buffett is doing? Or why does not everyone do it so easily, what Narendra Dedhia had told you today? Answer also is given immediately by the Warren Buffett, because nobody wants to get rich slowly. Friends, so this is the actual fact. So you should think about the third child theory, or you think about that per month you are spending 25,000 rupees just for nothing, or that is money does not belong to you, and you go on doing for next 30 years, and you can see what kind of wealth you have created for yourself and family. Next. Now this, as I told you, that Warren Buffett had started at the age of 11, and 99.7% of Warren Buffett's wealth came after his age of 52. Because once your quantum, as I told you, no, that once your quantum becomes a very big, quantum becomes first to get 5 lakh or 10 lakh or 20 lakh is difficult. But once you have a 10 crore, 20 crore, then even doubling, it becomes very fast. And then you get the huge quantum. So yes, that is the importance of, that is the beauty of the compounding effect or the wealth creation. And I hope this will help all of you to make a huge wealth. I am sure, as I told you, that all these things we were knowing what new Dr. Dedhia had told us. Yes, I think nothing is new. Everything is there. Everything is written. Just I wanted to tell you, it's simple. Make a simple thing. Don't complicate, and relax. Sit down. But yes, keep few things in the mind. Have a good financial advisor. Have a good your charter accountant. You should read about the finance. You should understand the various jugglery of the finance. You should know about what are the laws. You should know what are the tax planning and so on. So I always say that you should have a knowledge. Once you have a knowledge, you can discuss with your financial advisor. And good financial advisor, then mutual fund is one thing, equity is another thing, unlisted share is a third thing, then private equity is a fourth thing, then taking a part in the startup is a fifth thing. And there are so many avenues are there. But who will give you those avenues? Your good financial advisor will give you the avenues. And all those things, opportunity will come to you if you have a good financial advisor who can always open up gradually in front of you. Because once the financial advisor knows that now this fellow understands the finance, this fellow understands the money is growing, this fellow understands what are the risk factor involved in this particular investment, and he can take you further. So friends, I think we will open from here for the question answers and interactions. And always keep it in mind that keep like what kind of activities this Mr. Hari Krishnan and all of you are doing is very good. But in that, if you have a few common friends where they can always think about the financial jugglery, they can think about the financial talk, then go and meet such people. Meeting good people is always good. Spending time at the weekend with the meeting good people, something good will come out. Here, one more thing what I learned, that friends, there are much, much, much more good people in the world than the bad people. But as I always have learned that negativity sells, positivity doesn't be reported. So people don't talk about the positive people. People just talk about the negative things or bad things. And I was very fortunate in my life. So many good people were there. So many good persons were there, and who had helped me throughout my career. And because of that, whatever I am today, whatever knowledge I told you just now, if I think I would have had that knowledge at the beginning of my practice, I would have had at least 5 to 10 times more wealth than what I am having today. I'm extremely satisfied. I'm extremely happy what I have today. But this is just I wanted to inform you, especially to the youngsters, especially to the people who are new in the field, that they can definitely plan much better. And I agree with all of you that today's younger generation is definitely more smarter than what we were, and they are doing good job. Friends, thank you very much, and thank you very much for calling me today for this talk. I can take further any questions or anything if you need, or interactions, whatever is there. I will try to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a very nice session. Particularly, I like the last point which you mentioned, that negativity sells, but there are a lot of good people than bad people in the world. And it is for us to seek out the good people and the positivity. I think that is a very interesting message for the whole session. So if somebody has a question, please unmute and ask your question. You can ask your question directly also, or type in the chat box. Both are fine.
Inter-
Hello, sir. I'm Dr. Rahul from Pondicherry. I
Yes,
just
Rahul.
want to ask. I just want to ask the difference between actively managed fund and passively managed fund. If you have a long horizon, let's say 15 to 20 years time frame, so which one we should go for? Either it should be an active fund or a passive fund. Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful presentation, sir, and really it was thought provoking and 1 hour definitely a nice spent from my side. Thank you, sir. Thank you again.
No, I'm extremely happy that you liked it, and I hope that it should be useful to you. Now, whatever you said, that active and passively, see, whoever the fund manager is there, so once you have a good financial advisor, again, I will repeat here, once you have a good financial advisor, then probably that financial advisor will see that financial advisor will help you to put you into the right direction. And if you remember that I was telling that
Doctor, you can unmute. Doctor, please unmute.
sorry. Your financial advisor will always help you to discuss and to put you into the right direction. Now, all the funds are actively managed only. Nothing is a passively managed. Passively managed, probably the fund, what you talk about is like a provident fund and so on. So I'm not talking about the provident fund or something like that. I'm talking about the fund which is the mutual fund, or I'm talking about the fund where we are actively managed into the equity. There are some other funds also available, like balance fund, where there is a flavor of debt fund and equity is there. But mainly what I'm talking about, the equity fund. And unfortunately, today I'm not sure whether my daughter was here or not. There is as all of us knows, that India is going to have a its decade or couple of decades now, and that's a time for the India to be there. So I think uh, if you have a good knowledge, and if you remember in my talk, I told that you must meet your financial advisor or you must meet your charter accountant regularly for a cup of tea or cup of coffee. And during that time, you will come to know lots of other things, and lots of other things will come out. So, Rahul, I think you must meet your financial advisor. You must try to find out good financial advisor, and you should go in an active fund, not the passive fund. Active fund will be definitely better, give a better and more return comparative.
Hello, sir. I am Dr. Dinesh Nihalani, and I just want to know about gold fund ETF versus souvenir gold funds versus physical gold. Can you put some your thoughts?
Now, it all depends that the physical gold and ETF. I will definitely prefer the ETF. Physical gold, still you can have some amount of physical gold to please your wife or please your daughter if they like the gold. In my house, my daughter or my daughter-in-law both are against getting any gold, actual physical gold. So they will prefer for the direct investment. But then, yes, you can have a ETF where you can earn some amount of money also, and you can get the appreciation of gold also.
Sir, I'm talking about souvenir gold bonds versus ETF bonds. Souvenir, they give 2.5% of some interest, and it is lock-in period and something like that. So I'm not aware. I was, if you have any idea about that fund.
Yeah, so honestly, I myself is not put any money into that. But as I told you, that will give a little more return compared to having a physical gold. So here you will be getting some interest which is not there in actual physical gold.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I am Dr. Prashant Kothari. Jesse, I am having a sweep account. The money extra that is present in my account goes to sweep account. It gives an interest of 6.8%. And this extra money, should I invest in mutual funds?
You have to find out that how much is the.
Sir, you are muted.
Now I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
So you should find out how much extra fund you are having it and how long you will not require that fund. If you think that your not requiring fund is more than a year or so, then I think you should put into the mutual fund where mostly you will get much better return than the your SWIFT account or the FD account. So definitely I will advise that do that. And what they do, various good financial advisor, even instead of SWIFT account also, what I think you told me about, you are getting 6 point something. I think in SWIFT account you will not get 6 point something as a return. You will get around 4.5% return in the SWIFT account. And what they will advise, if you have a money which is extra fund, then put it into the liquid fund for 2 months, 3 months. There, even for a day or two, also you will get the interest and you will not lose out the money. So that can be also thought of. But if you want to do that kind of micromanagement, and which I will give you here my personal example. We at the Parakh hospital many times have money in our bank account where we don't need the money for next 2-3 months. We need only the working capital, maybe 5 lakhs or something like that. And beyond that, the money is not required. Now, which has been managed by my son for the various things. So once we have given them the benchmark, okay, this is I much required as my liquidity and to manage the various activity. So this much fund is required regularly. Rest of the funds you can put it into the either liquid account, and liquid account also we will need around 15 to 20 lakhs. Beyond that, you can put it into the higher return models. And by doing all these things, you will not believe our income. I do MIS regularly. So by doing this thing, we came to know our income has increased by 20 to 25 lakh rupees per year. Now, it's not a small amount. It's a significant amount. So this can be, if you manage your money a little more smartly, that kind of returns are available, and that kind of returns you can get it. So again, your good financial advisor can do all those things if you have that kind of liquid money also.
Thank you,
Thank-
sir. Thank you.
So good evening, doctor.
Good evening.
Can you hear me? Thank you for your wonderful talk. I wish I had listened to it 30 years ago. I would have been in a much better position. But my question is this about I heard about this power of compounding. Now, if the money is in a bank which gives 7% consistent interest, I can understand it will compound and grow to hopefully 7.5 crore rupees. But the question is this: mutual fund market cannot give consistent results. I know the Nifty has been given. Dr. Joshi, can you please mute your phone? Thank you. Please mute. Okay. So if it is kept in a bank, I can understand there is a consistent 7% interest, whatever interest, and it will compound. But in the mutual funds, there is no guarantee of consistency that there will be 7% or 10% return. So do you think that this law of compounding applies to stock market and mutual funds?
I think it's extremely good questions what you ask, and which will be answer will be benefit to all of rest of the listeners also. I agree absolutely that mutual fund cannot guarantee any steady return. So anybody ask me within 6 months or year or two, if he needs the money, I can say that, yes, I don't know what kind of return you are going to get. But if somebody is ready to put 5 years and more, then I can say there are n number of mutual funds can give you more than 10% return. N number of mutual funds, not only one or two. Now here, okay. I will again, as I told you in beginning of my today's talk, I will put my personal examples. At Parakh Hospital, we have whatever money we hospital is making, that money goes into the reserve. Now that reserve is been managed by my financial advisor, who is my son only, and has been put into the various mutual funds. We are getting almost last 15 years, because now I'm not talking, as I told you, about next 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. Last about more than 10 years, our CAGR, so annual growth return is 18.5%.
Wow.
18.5%.
Amazing.
So this kind of returns are possible. So what I mean to say, 12 to 15% is definitely possible if you are putting the money for more than 5 years. Okay. If you are putting it for the short term, yes, it can go plus minus. Okay. So it depends on the market. So all the mutual funds, short term, they cannot give a guidance, but long term is always there. And now here I can give you example. You look at the stock market, because mutual funds, ultimately they're putting the money into the stock market.
Right.
Only thing that fund manager has a good knowledge about the equity. So what is they do? Now, if you go back to 1999, I'm not going beyond that. 1999, Kargil war हुआ, फिर गवर्नमेंट अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी का आया, वो गवर्नमेंट गिर गया, फिर कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट आया, देन कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट आया, एंड देन राइट्स हुए, या फिर बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट हुआ, देन 9/11 हुआ, देन अपने 26/11 हुआ. So all those problems came and gone, but still You look at the market. Market has given a return.
Yeah, I
So,
understand.
so people, if you are ready for the long term, then all those factors can be ignored. But yeah, if you are looking at the short term, yes, its prediction will be very difficult. But here again, I want to tell you, unfortunately, today my daughter is not here. Otherwise, I would have asked her to talk about 10 minutes on the India story, and she is a good analyst. Now the India story is coming. So whichever way you are comfortable, you should start investing. And a mutual fund, good mutual fund, if you don't know the equity, at least invest in a good mutual fund. And maybe you diversify. So don't put the money in only one mutual fund. Maybe you divide in 2 or 3, but try to find out a good financial advisor and put in money into the mutual fund. Put for the at least 5 years. You will definitely get the good returns.
Thank you, sir. And somebody was asking for a good financial advisor. I think you should give your son's contact details. 18% CAGR is amazing.
Yeah, I will put down the details. If you ask my son also, he will tell you very humbly कि 12-15% return आ सकता है, because they don't promise you 20% in beginning and then 12% return आया तो you will be depressed. But today they will tell you about 12% and you get the 15%, you will be happy.
Happy. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
But I will definitely, in our group, I will put down his number and name so you can be in touch with that.
Sir? Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
So, my financial advisor told me if I am a lump sum, put in a liquid fund and do a STP. Is it right? Or if I have a lump sum amount, I directly put in a mutual fund?
So STP, what they do this at regular intervals, some amount of fund has been transferred from the liquid fund to that particular mutual fund. So that can be done. So during whatever the time is, so you are getting the advantage or disadvantage, but then what is that market fluctuation? So suppose today is market at very high and after 1 month it may go down, then you should not feel that why this thing is happen. But again, I will tell you the simply what we've spoken about the things that if you have that lump sum high amount of money, why you should develop that kind of things. If your planning is well from the day one, then probably regularly doing SIP will be a good job. But still, you can think about the STP, putting money in liquid fund and STP is not a bad idea.
Can I buy a lump sum in direct equity?
Again, as I told you, if you know the equity well and putting the money, yes, good. But tomorrow, then don't blame that person who has given you the tips, buy this equity and that your shares gone down. Then you will start feeling that you have not got the right advice. So equity is something like that. Equity is always good, but you must know the equity. That is the only thing.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
In fact, if you ask equity, as I have given you the example of Pidilite, 200 shares 35 years back, if I would have kept and not sold today, it would have become 3.2 crore rupees. So my one visit value was more than 3 crore rupees.
So I asked you about
that is the power of equity. But then you should have a known about that particular equity, which is going to multiply like that Pidilite.
Sir, what are the platforms through which we can invest? There are there some mobile platforms? Suppose there's YONO of SBI. Can we invest through that platforms?
Yeah, you can do, but then why you want to go through that? Why not do you have a good financial advisor, meet them and then do the things?
Okay.
See, ultimately what I personally believe, I am a doctor. I want to concentrate on my practice. I want to see that I earn more money. If I earn more money, I can invest more money. And that ultimately will give me more income. So that is my expertise, that my profession. So I will try to excel in my profession and try to do a good job. and then let my financial advisor. But that doesn't mean that you should not know about the financial things. So you can have a study about the financial things. You can go and discuss once in a 3 months with your financial advisor. So once you have some basic knowledge about the finances, I think your financial advisor will never make you fool. And in fact, he or she will be also happy that you are taking interest and you are aware of something. So many times I feel that my patient have some good knowledge about the medicine, then it becomes easier for me to explain them. Similarly, here, if you have some knowledge, it will become easier for them to explain what you should ideally do.
Sir, another question. After starting a SIP, after a few years, we have a large amount. Is it necessary to shift the active mutual fund to liquid fund and like vice versa?
Sorry, what do you ask?
After starting a SIP, after 4 to 7 years, we have a large amount in the mutual fund. At that time, because of the volatility of the market, is it necessary to shift the active mutual fund to liquid fund and again liquid to mutual fund?
No, please don't do that. Please don't do that. What I understood that you are asking that tomorrow, if you think that market is going down, so you remove the money from the mutual fund and put it into liquid fund, right? See, you cannot time the market. Many times I tell that market is like a wife. It's a totally unpredictable thing. So you cannot time the market. So please don't do that. So you will miserably fail if you start doing that.
Okay, sir.
So I think, as I given you the example also, there are so many ups and downs comes, but again ultimately it will go up.
Yes, sir.
But when it will go up, you will never get a time to enter also.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I think you can pass on this message about the few things, which is, as I told you, third child theory, or now in our generation, second child theory. So it will be a very easy way to people to understand what is the compounding effect, and simple rules in the life that nothing is free, negativity very easily, but then more good peoples are around. People, I think somebody is asking about the Tata Tech at today's level. Tata Tech is a fairly good company, but yes, it is quite now become fancy share. Now I cannot predict again the market that what will happen to Tata shares. But then yes, such opportunity you will always get for the future. As I got the Tata Tech opportunity 7 years back, and for me it become 10x in 7 years. 10x in 7 years is a huge amount of return. So you can just imagine that. So similar things are always available. So keep a good financial advisor. And if you want to buy, you can enter at Tata Tech at this level. And then if goes further down, then you can buy further. Otherwise, wait for some other opportunities.
Sir, what do you do in your spare time?
Oh, I have a lot of interest, so I hardly get the spare times. But then, yes, I read a lot. I have my son and daughter, and we discuss. I like the eating of foods. I like to go to the good places. Especially, I like the natural beauty, so we visit a few places. And yes, now enjoying the life, meeting friends, meeting good people is always there. And I'm still very active in my profession also. So that's the. But yes, I always consider my doctor colleagues, and I can, whichever way I can help them to achieve the financial freedom, I'll be happy to do that, because I always see that kind of struggle we all of us go through deserves the better quality of life. But then majority of us, see, always I have found that intelligent people very difficult to handle, because they always, and our major problem, everybody, all the doctors' major problem is their own ego. And because of that, we don't get many doors have been closed for us, because our own ego, we think that how can I talk to them, or how can I go there, and something like that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I hope probably all the questions are now dried up. So, Harikishan, any further things?
Doctors, any other questions? You can please.
Sir, some specific books to be read?
Oh yeah, quite a few books to be read actually. I will put down, one was a money psychology. I think that was an excellent book. I will put it down, and I think that everybody should read. I will put down in our group that book's name. That's a beautiful book about the money psychology, and I think everyone should read that book.
आपके लाइफ का एसेंस एक सेंटेंस में बता पाएंगे क्या सर?
Oh, I am very happy what I am today. There is no question. And always retrospectively, people think that I would have done this, would have been better. But then, yes, one only thing that I can say, that person who is sitting at the higher position can change somebody's life. And now, since you asked this question, I will tell you. During my education, we had a inter-science, especially those days. And inter-science, so that time you have to select the group A or B. B group people can go for medicine. A group people can go for engineering. That was the way we used to be. So first 3 months in the inter-science, I have not attended a single lecture because I had a jaundice. And my upbringing was very, very, I was staying in a mountain hill it is a small, something like a hut, 8 by 8 room we were staying. So there was no other facilities. Reading in the street light and something. I had a jaundice, so I didn't attended any single day in inter-science. And if you remember those days, inter-science, I'm sure there must be a majority of us in people who are in the medicine. Every day used to be a practical, either physics, chemistry, or the biology. And 3 months you are not attending a college, missed about more than 100 practicals. A letter from the principal came to parents that, dear parents, your son is not coming so and so, and please come and meet us. So I realized for that. But my father was again not literate, so he was not understanding the English. So he gave me the letter. I read, says, I have been not going to college. That's why principal had written a letter to you. So I was just getting little better. I went to the college. My weight was just 32 kg. And in those days, this is I'm talking about, must be around now, if I count, around 50 years back. So those days, to enter the principal office was a very big thing. So I went to the principal's office. Principal had called. He was extremely busy on his doing work. And he, without looking at me, after reading the letter, he realized that this fellow has come. he started firing left, right, and center. And I was absolutely introvert. I was absolutely just recovering from my illness. So I started crying. I was so innocent. I can still visualize that days. After his firing, I started crying. My listening to my crying noise, he started just looking at me from his busy work from the, and he looked at me. He realized that I'm really sick and I'm not well. He asked me to sit down. Now, some principal is asking to sit down in front of me. It was a big thing. Then he asked me, will you have a coffee or tea? Now, coffee was unheard to me. In those days, coffee was a big luxury. How can anybody ask me the coffee? I'm talking about the 50 years back. So he said, he given me the cup of coffee, and that cup of coffee had changed my life. That cup of coffee had given me such a strength that it becomes totally different thing. And then he said, okay, I am extremely busy. You go back. You will come tomorrow. We will discuss. But I went very positively back home, came back next day home, little much better frame of mind because that cup of coffee had helped me a lot, given me a lot of confidence and strength. So next day he asked me, what you want to do? I said, I want to go for medicine. He started laughing. How can you go for medicine? You already missed 100 practicals. So he said, if you want to go for medicine, please take the drop. And I know probably why you understand what I mean. So you take a drop, means you appear after 6 months. I said, I don't know that previous day cup of coffee, otherwise I would have never dreamt that I would have spoken in front of principal. But a previous day cup of coffee had changed my entire tone. Say, sir, thank you very much for this offer, but then I'm coming from the Bania community. My parents and my family needs money, and they will realize I'm taking a drop. They will put me into some grocery store, and I will be doing some small job. And somehow it struck him, and he realized that, and he says, yes, I agree. And he called all the head of the department, physics, chemistry, and biology, and requested, please, can you do help to him and organize the separate lectures for him. So they separate practicals for him, whatever he had missed. So they organized the practicals for me. I covered all the practicals. And that year, I was in one of the premier medical school college in Mumbai, SIS, South Indian Education Society College. And I came first in the college in B group, and I was 12th in the Mumbai University. So yeah, that always changed my entire life. That one cup of coffee had changed my life because that started putting me to analyze the life, started putting to analyze the various things, what to be done. And I realized one thing, the person at the top position, if he really wants to, he or she wants to help the people, they can change their life. Yeah, so that was the incident that I thought, since you asked, I said, let me put it forward for the. But then today's youngsters are in much better position because probably what things we have gone through our generation, hopefully they are much better platform than what we had.
और आज की ये कॉफी हम लोग की लाइफ बदल देने वाली है सर. थैंक यू.
I hope that it should be helpful to everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Harikishan, anything from your side now?
No,
Or
Doctor.
Anybody wants to say anything further?
In the chat box, there is some questions. Have you looked at that one?
Yeah, I will. Let me go through that. Now, I think one question I will try to answer here. Somebody has put direct mutual fund versus through broker. Now here again, as I told you that direct mutual fund and versus through broker. Broker means if you have a good financial advisor, difference is hardly 0.2 to 0.25%. You can do direct, but if you have that kind of time, just to save 200, 400 rupees or a small amount of money, why you want to do direct? And here the advantage is that if you have a good financial advisor, then that financial advisor can bring one Tata technology. If one Tata technology, what I got, if you similarly you get, you make 2-3 crore rupees. So that is the advantage. So always think about that, how you can get the more information and how you can cash on that information. So that financial advisor, but yeah, you have to select a proper financial advisor who has the exposure to the many things. Unlisted share, mutual fund, liquid fund, debt fund, and so on. Even the startup. So there are so many things where your financial advisor can guide you. So I think that I will at least prefer to do through the financial advisor rather than doing it directly. By directly, also you are paying some amount of money to the fund manager, because that fund managers are there in the mutual fund who are managing the fund. So that anyway you are paying. So you might be paying 0.2% something extra. So that gives you a lot of peace of mind, and with that you end up getting something good advice, good investment opportunity in the future. So definitely I will prefer that. One question was that PPF versus mutual fund. So which is better, or whether we should put money in PPF or not. Now, I will tell you that public provident fund was a good thing, maybe about a few years back. But gradually the return has gone down from 12% to now today is I think 7.7% or something like that is there on the PPF. Many people are doing a definitely good way by their own. I will still say that directly put into the mutual fund and don't put in the PPF. But you are allowed to put in PPF 1.5 lakh rupees only. So if you have that kind of extra fund, then always putting somewhere else, it is better to put in the PPF. So after the good mutual fund, next option is the PPF. So PPF is definitely not bad. It is a good, money can get compounded, but at a little slower rate. And the only advantage of PPF, tomorrow anything happens to you, nobody can attach your PPF money. So PPF money is that way very, very safe money, and no income tax, no rate, no people can attach your PPF money. So that way it is a very safe thing. Another question was that which is the safe mutual fund? There are so many good mutual funds are there, and as I already, one of the slides I put down that Nippon or Reliance Growth Fund and Franklin. So there are so many good mutual funds are there, and definitely your financial advisor can help you. Will financial manager take care of your finances unless it is PMS? Now here I will clear you what is PMS. PMS is a portfolio management service. It's a totally different thing. Once you are a regular investor in a mutual fund, and then tomorrow if you want to go for the PMS, yes, you can always think about that. But PMS is a high reward, high risk things are there. So sometimes PMS has given a good return, but second year it may not give a good return. So PMS is again a more specialized thing. If you know, the PMS is portfolio management service. Previously, the PMS had a minimum corpus of 25 lakhs was required. Nowadays, the government of India has made it 50 lakhs. So again, everybody cannot straight away go and put the money into PMS, because you have to give them your fund manager 50 lakhs directly. So what I will advise, yes, PMS is good. In fact, my daughter runs one of the very good PMS fund, and she is the head of the PMS. But then I will not advise everybody to go PMS directly. Reason is that you get the experience. Once you become more confident about the stock market, investment into equity via mutual fund and so on, then if you want to go for the PMS, yes, you can always think about the PMS. And if well-managed PMS fund can give a better return, but then again, you should understand the equity well, so then you will never disappoint it. Should we buy gold now as rates have gone, or should we wait? Now, I always believe that yes, you should have a various different class of uh, investment, and you can buy a gold till you can keep your wife happy. So that much gold you should buy, and the rest of the money, I think, put it into equity. And usually gold is something like that. Whenever there is a recession, gold prices will go high. Whenever there is a war or some crisis, gold prices go high. And whenever the market goes high, gold prices will come down. So yes, that kind of thing is there. In such situation, you want to help, that's fine. I think I did mention about my mutual fund for the insurance was to start with the Reliance Growth, which now is become Nippon. Somebody has asked which insurance fund I am invested. So now it is known as Nippon Growth Fund, I think. Here somebody had asked the questions that is that financial advisor is a SEBI registered or not. I think all the financial advisor has to go through some exams and at regular interval, and it made SEBI has made it compulsory. So and nowadays, in fact, here I wanted to tell you also one important thing, that overall our SEBI is much better than many of the developed countries SEBI also, and they control extremely well. Believe me, they control extremely well, and our rules are quite stringent. And what we used to hear about 15, 20 years back, that people were managing the things. Nowadays, it's nearly impossible or difficult. So it's uh, definitely much better way and much better managed. So we should be proud of our SEBI, what they are doing it. I think somebody is asking the questions. What I understood that they are asking how to take care of the losses. Now, if you remember that all the mutual fund and everybody will write at the end one line that mutual fund is market related things and please read the blah blah blah, and there are always chances of losing the money. So, but yes, one thing I can tell you that in mutual fund, money will never become zero. When if you put money in direct equity, you can lose substantially, which is definitely not going to be happening in the mutual fund. But yes, that if you are putting for the short term, but if you are putting for the long term, as we already discussed, then usually the money will grow by handsomely. So you always keep little time horizon, then you will not lose the money. Somebody is asking about the index fund. Yes, index fund is a good thing. And index has also given a fairly good return. And there also you can expect about 10 to 15% return. So many people prefer to put the money into index fund rather than mutual fund. But then I had seen that well-managed mutual fund, and if you have a good financial advisor, then you probably don't need to put the index fund. But if you don't want to meet the financial advisor and you want to do it very more safely, then you can directly do with the index fund also. But definitely with the financial advisor, you will get the little better suggestions and more return compared to the directly putting into the index fund. So there are various platforms are available to put the money directly into the mutual fund, and you can use those one of the platform, couple of platforms where you can directly put the money. But again, I'm repeatedly telling, and this time also, that going through the financial advisor, it may cost you 0.2% extra, but gives you lots of comfort level and lot of free good financial advices come as a free, and which will be may helpful to you. And if you convert one opportunity of Tata technology, I have converted to not one n number of opportunity, but I am sure gradually you will able to convert one opportunity, and that will make your money grow much more than what amount of money you have paid for their fees, which will be very small or negligible. One more question the people have asked, that how can I know that who is a good financial advisor and who is not good financial advisor? I think once you know about the little bit about the finances, you will immediately pick up that who is a good financial advisor and not. Because nobody can fool you once you have some knowledge. And you can then questions, you can talk to that financial advisor regular way and regular basis. And as I told you that once in a 3 month, you must meet your financial advisor. If you don't have any work also, still go and meet, have a cup of coffee and discuss few points, and something new will come out. And as I always tell you that meeting a good people always brings you the something. So always it is a more helpful to meeting the good people regularly. So I think always think about positive, always think about the meeting good people, always think about how to be in touch with the good people, and if you don't have any work, also still go and meet good people, and something good will comes out. I think
Yes,
Hari
Dr.
Krishnan, any more? Yeah, I think majority of the chat box questions I have covered.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
But I really happy to see that the people were very keen and they were asking a lot of questions, and so that was good. Hopefully that it was useful to everybody.
Definitely,
Excuse me, sir.
definitely.
I had one question.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. I'm Dr. Shilpa. Actually, I wanted to ask whether we should be investing in NPS, because 3 years ago, my CA had advised from the viewpoint of saving tax, one should invest in NPS. But I have not seen some significant returns in that. So, is it advisable?
What is MPS?
NPS, National Pension Scheme.
Oh, no. Sorry. I think, see, majority of the year, if your CA must be the 70-year-old or so.
No, sir. She's young, 35, 40.
Oh, then surprisingly, usually the younger people will never advise the such scheme. But then, yes, if they have said, no, you can discuss with them also. So that's what I said. Now, since you have some knowledge, no, you can
Right,
better
sir.
go talk to your CA, have a cup of coffee, and
Right.
his or her views. What was the reason why she was telling about the investing in NPS instead of mutual fund? Now, since how many years you are putting money in NPS?
Sir, Abhi, right now, 3 years only.
Acha, 3 years. So it's still not a longer time. But
Right,
otherwise, suppose you are putting for the last 8-10 years, then probably you lost a lot of opportunity.
Right, sir.
So, and if amount is significant, then again you are lost quite a lot of things.
Right. So she had advised from the viewpoint of some tax scenario. So some tax saving was happening with investing another 50,000, because we can only invest 50,000 into the NPS besides the other tax saving.
Exactly. So now quite a few CAs who are having a conservative views, and they will advise about the tax saving scheme or something like that. Now here I will give you example. Many times people see if you are making some money in the property and you are not investing in 1 year, then you have to put some money in some tax saving scheme, or you have to pay the tax, capital gain tax. You got my point?
Right, sir.
So there are two kinds of CAs will be available. One kind of CA will tell ki you pay the tax, but then you keep your money free so you can invest where you want to. And some CA will say no, you put the money into some particular scheme where you don't have to pay the tax. So, but then your money will be blocked for 3 years or 5 years or so.
Yes, sir.
So I will advise not to go for the blocking your money. Instead of
Right.
that, blocking the money and saving couple of 2 or 3% tax, pay that tax, keep your money free, find out some good opportunity and invest accordingly. That will be more better off.
Okay. Right.
So
sir.
because then return will be much more, and which
Right.
I have done for myself also. Sometimes selling some property and getting some capital gain, and that capital gain is not properly invested, or I don't have a property to buy or something, then I will definitely still go for paying the tax and get my money to be free instead of putting money to be blocked. And sometimes you have to block for 5 to 7 years also.
5 years. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so why I should do that?
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, doctor. Thank you so much for your valuable presentation and wonderful talk for the participants. They are very much benefited the participants. So once again, thank you so much, doctor.
Yeah, just remind me today at the end or by tomorrow morning, a few details I will put in the group so the people can get the advantage of this. And I will put down my son's number also, so they can be
Okay.
touched, and if they are comfortable, they can go ahead with him also.
Sure, sure, doctor, sure.
Sure. And I wish everybody happy investing, happy growing money, and hopefully that today's talk helped them to create a huge wealth for themselves.
Yes, doctor. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, doctor.
Thank you.